Oh, when the Cards go marching in. Oh, when the Cards go marching in.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into Southwest Bias on this casual Friday, brought to you by our friends. I messed that up. Brought to you by our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit Gila River Resorts and Casinos and have a good time. All right, I think I'm back over here. It is a casual Friday, and, I love this time of year. I don't know about you, but I love this time of year because anything's possible when it comes to the NFL. And growing up a Cardinals fan, that never always felt the way it was. But a few days before the season, every year, you held out hope. Maybe something magical could happen. Maybe this is the year to make the playoffs for the first time. Maybe this is the year that they win the NFC or go to the Super Bowl and win it all. Maybe this is the year where I'm just entertained while watching football and we'll let the cards fall where they may. No pun intended. And I love that about it because, growing up a Cardinals fan since '88, there have been a lot of years where, in reality, we knew that there wasn't going to be a good year that was going to happen, right? And we had to hold out hope that the Steve Berlines of the world and the John Skeltons and the Kevin Cobbs and the Tom Tupas could play quarterback. And we did because we bleed Cardinal red.
You love Tom Tupa.
I do.
You bring him up more than any athlete.
I have a jersey. I have a signed card. The dude was a punter. And he was the starting quarterback for the Cardinals for 13 games. Nothing epitomizes being a Cardinals fan in the 90s like that. But, you always held out hope because that's what we do. We bleed Cardinal red. I mean, everybody does, but we bleed it because we're a fan of the team. And I love that there's such hope. And this year's no different. I mean, I don't think we're trying to con ourselves into thinking that this could be a playoff team. I think they're have a legit chance at being a playoff team. But there's plenty of us that are trying to convince ourselves that maybe it could be something more. Maybe it could be another magical season like we got when they went to the Super Bowl. Maybe Kyler figures it out and he's an MVP candidate. Maybe this is the year where everything goes right and Jonathan Gannon has a defensive front that just becomes dominant. These are the thoughts that happen as you're creeping towards game one. But the second that kicks off on Sunday in New Orleans, that all changes. It becomes reality. We get to see what this team is and what they're going to accomplish, how they're going to accomplish it, and if they're actually going to be good like we hope. And I'm not smashing the panic button by any means, but I think Sunday is a must-win in New Orleans. It's a must-win because you got to set the tone. It's a must-win because this isn't a very good Saints team. And again, no knock on the local kid, but Spencer Rattler isn't a really great quarterback that's starting there. This isn't Drew Brees you're going in to play against. This is not a team that should have a real chance. Now, they're 6-0 in their last 6 home openers. But what does that matter? I mean, 6 years ago is an eternity in the NFL. The reality is you're going up against a quarterback in Spencer Rattler that's 0-6. I mean, the last time you faced this team in 2022, and I think that was a better Saints team, and I don't think it was a better Cardinals team. You dominate them. 2 pick sixes, that'd be nice this week. Even one. Give me a Will Johnson pick six. I'm going to be on cloud 9 when we talk to you on Monday. But it's a must win. You got to go in there. You got to start your season off right. We've seen how you go in with some expectations and a Cardinals team finds a trap game and winds up disappointing. This team can't go through that. I don't know that self-doubt will creep in, but fan doubt will creep in. That's for sure. And you got to get off to such a hot start this year to try to get where you want, right? And people are going to say this, Kyler Murray has to do it all. I need to see the throwing. And I've said it. I pounded the table literally in the other room about needing to see Kyler throw the ball more this year. But I don't think this is the week that's going to determine what happens. The Saints have one of the worst rush defenses last year in the NFL. They could not play the run. This is a James Conner, Trey Benson game. This is a run-pass option kind of game. This is a play action leads to big throw kind of game, but not a game that you're going to have to force throwing. The Petsing mindset of running the ball might just be enough to really dominate this Saints team. So I don't think this is on Kyler Murray as a must-win. This is a team as a must-win. That defensive front, Sweat's got to get pressure on the quarterback, Calais Campbell. That whole defensive line has to get pressure on the quarterback. Spencer Rattler has to be disrupted. He's going to make mistakes if you do that. Then you're going to have to hit him hard with James Conner and Trey Benson. I think short passing game with Trey McBride, is going to have to be on point. I don't think this is a big game where you have to have Marvin Harrison Jr. have 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Would I love it? Yeah, of course I'd love it. I don't think this is where that needs to be. This has got to be a running game first against the Saints team that can't stop it. Make them stop it, then throw the pass in as the counter punch once they're focused on it. Do that. Rope-a-dope them in that way. That's what I want to see. Because you can't start this season off on a rough note. You just can't. Because we know the stats when a team starts 0-1, their chances of making the playoffs diminishes a little, and then it falls off a cliff, essentially, if you go 0-2. You got to start off hot. I think they have to be 5-1 through the first 6 to put themselves in a position to be in the conversation. Tough back half of the schedule. We know injuries for other teams will change that in some ways, but you got to come out. You got to play well on Sunday, and you got to smash the ball with James Conner, and you got to smash Spencer Rattler with your defensive line. It's a must-win for the Cardinals in New Orleans. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. It's a casual Friday, and we bring in the mustache behind the Mac with no camera, Shane Diefenbach. Shane, how are you?
Well, we'll see. The sun just might be a little dark today.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at it. It's not bad at all. Look at that.
Yeah. Hey.
Good morning, Mr. Sun.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a Friday, and it's a Friday before the first real weekend of the NFL season, so it's very exciting.
It's the first time in like a month that you don't have to travel on the weekend, so that's good too.
Yep, that
you
is good.
Stay home. Mm-hmm. You get to sit in here on Sunday and do a watch along with me.
And sit in here on Saturday.
Oh yeah, you got ASU on. That's work. On Sunday, it's just us BSing about football while watching a game, right? Fair enough. It's a little work, but we're gonna have some fun with that. You got any big predictions for this weekend, both college and NFL?
Bryce Young is going to supplant himself as a MVP candidate week 1.
I need that in my other league. Yeah, that'd be nice.
No, I mean, look, there's a reason why you're touchdown favorites as in the first week of the season. It's because 1, your expectations are higher than they've been in a very long time, and 2, you're playing one of the worst teams in the NFL, probably the worst team if I had to guess. It's been about 7 years where every offseason we say, all right, the salary cap is going to bite them in the ass. The salary cap is going to bite them in the ass. And finally, the time has come, and they have to pay the piper, and then they have to pay the piper, and then they have to pay the piper. The Saints are going to be bad for a while. There shouldn't be a lot of hope in this team. Spencer Rattler is your starting quarterback. Although if he does perform, he could have one of the coolest nicknames in sports as being the Rattlesnake. I just don't see it.
They're playing for Arch Manning, right? I mean, maybe not after what we saw in week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll draft him on name.
They're playing for Caleb Downs.
You got hope for ASU this weekend?
Yeah.
They're going to beat the Cowboy boys?
I would be shocked if they don't drum this team. Mississippi State is not a good football team. Yeah, you're on the road. It'll be a real SEC test. I think you win by 2 touchdowns.
I love it.
At least I hope
I love
you
the confidence. You better. Otherwise, Kenny's going to have a lot of explaining to do. I want to get to the bias in a second. It's a casual Friday. Can I bring up something that's not just sports?
Of course.
I feel very old. I went and saw Rob Thomas last night and realized I did the math. 30 years ago was the first time I listened to Rob Thomas music. And then I read an article that they're closing my elementary school and my middle school, both of which were almost brand new when I attended them. So I'm feeling really old today. And so I got that going for me. Not that any of you want to know that, but just thinking about it. But I want to talk to the biased. And AZ Texan says, "What's up, Espo and the Deef?" I like the Deef. You like the Deef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's like the beef. I like it.
Deefy 5 layer.
Rooster says Saints still have surplus money under the cap. They ain't gonna help them on Sunday, but he says this is not last year's Saints roster. Expect the unexpected. I always expect that in week 1. Really, we don't know anything. It's all assumptions, right? So that's happening. AZ Texan says this is going to be the longest waiting period these 3 days. I agree. And Ray Fram says our D-line should rattle Rattler after every snap. I agree. We're going to bring Johnny Venerable on in just a couple minutes to talk about the game, preview that, get his final thoughts before the season actually kicks off and before he and the Cardinals crew takes off for New Orleans. They're going to be there all weekend. Live show tomorrow, live show on Sunday, halftime, post, and pre, all from New Orleans. You're going to want to watch that all weekend long with their coverage. But I got a new segment, and I'm springing this on Shane. So you don't have anything fancy. We'll have something fancy next week for you. But it's called Espo versus the Tank. And no, I'm not going to cut to footage of me fighting a real military tank. That would be stupid. The tank would lose. But I've got another tank that's going to lose. Frank Kaminsky and I, all season long, are going to make NFL picks on Fridays, and we're going to go head-to-head. Frank will join us on the program throughout the season. He's a big NFL guy. We'll talk football. That was his request. He said, look, I want to come on the program, but we've talked basketball so much. We need to talk football. And I said, you know what, Frank? We can do that, and I can kick your ass in the process. This week, we're picking Cardinals at Saints, Chiefs at Chargers, Lions at Packers, and Vikings at Bears. Cardinals and Bears will always be involved unless there's a bye week because Cardinals are my team, Bears are Frank's team. And you'll see that in Frank's pick. Frank's picking the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bears by 30, which just picking the Bears in general is insane, but by 30 is even more insane, although I don't think I'll hold him to that. And then I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking the Chargers today. I'm taking the Packers, and I'm taking the Vikings. So somebody's going to have a big lead when Sunday rolls around. It's Espo versus the Tank, our friend Frank Kaminsky. We'll see whose picks are better. I still think they're going to be mine, at least in week 1. But we'll see, and we'll keep standings all year long so you can tell if Frank or I know football better. I think we're both basketball guys at heart, so we're going to find out real soon. On the other side of the break, Johnny Venerable, he doesn't have a PHNX Cardinals show today, so he said, you know what? I got to get my fix in. I'm going to come on Southwest Bias. That's happening right next. I don't know what right next means, but I do know that Circle K is the best when it comes to fuel for your car and for yourself. Oh, I thought Shane was going to switch the camera. I was trying to work on it. There we go. You can become a member of the Inner Circle today. You're going to save 30 or 25 cents per gallon on each fill up. And then you're going to save 3 cents after your first 5 fill ups on every gallon. And then you're going to reach the Espo level and you're going to save 5 cents off per gallon. But that's not all, folks. You're going to be able to get 79 cents Polar Pops, 99 cent Frosters, and so many other deals that you're not going to know what to do. And you're probably saying, Espo, how do I become part of this whole thing? I went too early on that one. How do I become part of this thing? It's easy. All you got to do is download the Circle K app today and put in a little bit of information and you are a member of the Inner Circle. So download the Circle K app today for free and become a member of the Inner Circle. And we're talking about our friends at Mountain America Credit Union. Yeah, that's right. Make MyStyle your lifestyle with their MyStyle checking account, right? You don't want MyStyle. A quarter zip, a hat, and glasses every day isn't the style you want. You want MyStyle checking account because it's got some of the best perks in the business. You're going to get what you need. You're going to get restaurant deals. It's a Friday night. Most of us go out to eat. Well, some of us go out to eat. Wouldn't you want a restaurant deal? I would. That makes it a lot easier to afford. Mobile phone protection. You drop your phone a lot, they got you covered. Telehealth access. We all get sick sometimes, so why don't you have a doctor in your pocket? Sounds a little weird, but you can have telehealth access, identity theft protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and oh so much more. I wish I had those travel discounts when I sent Johnny, Bo, and Noah out to New Orleans. I could have saved a little money. So make MyStyle your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/MyStyle. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost. Registration and activation. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply, like everything in life. We got to welcome in the one, the only, the Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing well. We finally made it. Start of the regular season. Can't wait, Espo. We're en route to New Orleans in just a couple hours. And make or break year for a lot of people with this franchise. You got to love it.
Have you packed yet? Are you a guy that waits until like 30 minutes before and throws it all in the suitcase? Or are you a planner? Do you have it all packed?
Nothing's packed. Nothing's done. My wife is begrudgingly doing my laundry for this 37-year-old man-child as we speak. So feel very blessed about that. But no, this is a business trip, but I'm a small child at heart.
So you were not prepared, but the question is, are the Cardinals prepared for New Orleans? You're looking at it. How are you feeling overall about the game?
It's nerve-wracking because they're like, nationally, this game isn't getting a lot of pub. Everybody expects the Cardinals to take care of business. I feel like the Saints have nothing to lose in this opener. They don't know how bad they are yet. You would much rather play them, I think, at the end of the year. That being said, like, Cardinals should sleepwalk their way to a double-digit victory. Will they? I have no idea. Jonathan Gannon, as much as I love him, hasn't won an opener yet. I did love his comments this morning. I don't know if you caught that or not. Basically saying, like, we need to score more points. We need more explosive plays. Everybody's feeling the pressure because I'm going to tell you right now, defense is going to be on point. Special teams are always good. I know they can run the football. This passing game is going to make or break this season. And I think even on Sunday, you need to put up a crooked number in that category.
Do you think that, see, to me, when you look at what the Saints were last year, I feel like the running game can dominate this without having to have huge passing numbers in game one. I think obviously the run game will open up, play action passes, other things that can happen. But I feel like establishing James Conner and Trey Benson against this porous Saints defense when it comes to the run is probably where you need to start, right?
I mean, you would think so. We've made that argument for 2 years, though, Espo. It's like the Cardinals run the ball like fifth best in the NFL. So inherently, you would assume that play action should be like seamless for this team. Newsflash, it's not. It's not. It's difficult. It's difficult for this team to stretch the ball downfield. I don't understand it. Its route concepts are a problem. I think Kyler Murray's deep ball has been a problem for 2 years. And then like inconsistencies with Marvin Harrison Jr. were a problem last year. That all needs to be fixed. Like we had Brian Baldinger on our show earlier this week. Everything needs to be crisp. It needs to look seamless. It can't look difficult. When you're playing a team, practice squad level, XFL level, like the New Orleans Saints, you ought to be able to boat race them any way you want, right? I expect the defense to create havoc, generate some turnovers, which was a problem last year, but the offense in particular, Espo, whether it's running the football, whether it's working off a play action, hell, whether it's empty sets, nothing should look hard for them. And that's a barometer that I think for this team is going to be difficult to hit. I think if you're going into a game like this with every expectation on this fan base is you better look awesome, anything less is a disappointment, there is immense pressure that comes with that.
Do you buy into, and we talked about it a little on the program yesterday, but this idea that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray have a better relationship, which may translate on the field. Communication feels stronger based on what they were saying. I mean, Kyler even joked maybe Marv was a little afraid of him in year one. Do you think these are just talking points to just talk to the media, or do you actually think there's more of a relationship that could play in the dynamic on the field?
I think Marv is a better player than he was last year. And I think that their relationship is stronger because they've just been buddies for longer. Like that happens organically in any walk of life, in any profession. I don't know if it's going to lead to like a winning season for the Cardinals and 12 wins. I need to see that transpire. I do think that he is going to sleepwalk Marvin his way to like 12, 1,300 yards this year. I just think that the volume is going to be there. It was a volume problem last year. Yes, their routes were not great in terms of like the connection between he and Kyler Murray, but it was a volume problem. Is 18's number going to be called more than last year? Unequivocally, yes. We saw that in training camp. Like, I am not sold on this passing game. I need to be courted into believing, right? Because I still saw some inconsistencies against the Broncos in joint practice, and certainly, in the Kansas City opener in the preseason. But like, I can sit here and say confidently that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a focal point in this offense. So that's going to take care of itself. But like, game on the line, can I expect them to hit a back shoulder fade? I don't know about that yet. I think specifically like this team last year, and I think it's carrying over now, is great from 20 to 20. They have a red zone problem. They had a red zone problem last year, and then in the preseason, Kyler Murray had interception in the red zone, and then a field goal, a drive that stalled out, and then against the Denver Broncos in joint practice, they were not effective in the red zone. How are they going to be effective in the red zone on Sunday against New Orleans? It better look seamless. You better dominate. You have freak show athletes in Marv and Trey McBride, and Kyler Murray is always a threat with his legs. That, to me, is the bigger question. Can this team have a explosive offense and an efficient red zone? But Marv's going to be fine.
Johnny, you say, after a year or so, they became better buddies, right? We're about to hit year 4. When do we become better buddies? Tuesday is our 4th anniversary doing this.
Wow. I think for you and I, if it hasn't happened yet, I don't know if it ever will, is kind of my mindset with this. But, I think I'm pretty close with like producer Shane behind the camera. And then like I see him, and then I feel like I just need to get away from him. So there's only collectively like 2 or 3 people I would consider like close friends here at PHNX Sports. Everybody else, I could just kind of take it or leave it.
I see how it is. Taking it or leaving it. Do you think that the defensive front's going to get to Spencer Rattler? Obviously, Spencer, not great last year, 0 for 6. For audio listeners, Shane just put a clown face on Johnny after that drive-by you just put on him. But do you think this defensive front, this retooled defensive front's going to get to Spencer Rattler, get that pressure on him on Sunday, you clown?
It better. If it doesn't, then that's the only way the Saints can hang. It's the only way. If the Saints feel confident in Alvin Kamara, who's old but still effective, like the Saints offensive line on paper, like we know a lot of their players because they were drafted high, right? Kelvin Banks Jr. was a top 10 pick. They took Fuaga, the kid from Oregon State last year. Like I would imagine like if they get it going this year and people are like, oh, the Saints are like feisty, their offensive line is going to be a big byproduct of that. If the Cardinals can't get pressure on New Orleans, it will give New Orleans an identity that they can hang, and that will be a disaster. So in a weird way, like the front seven is going to dictate this game. Calais Campbell, sounds like got a vet day off. Like ice him, tune him up, give him the Matthew Stafford practice routine, let him loose in the Superdome on Sunday. Josh Sweat, I mean, he didn't play at all in the preseason. They're like, you played in the Super Bowl, you were an ass kicker, you were awesome. Take training camp off in large stretches. Like you're tuning up some of these guys to let them loose for the first time. Then you got young guys like Darius Robinson and Jordan Birch, who I think have a chance to make an impact. Baron Browning, Zaven Collins had his best training camp. Yes, they need to dominate. Spencer Rattler has never won an NFL game. His offenses don't eclipse 20 points. He is not a good football player. It's not a good team. Tyler Shuck's a disaster. Could we see him at some point? Like this team has no business beating the Cardinals. But, I go back, Bo and I use this example, Espo, like 2016, the Cardinals lost the opener with New England to Jimmy Garoppolo at State Farm Stadium, and they never recovered, right? Like this would be that times 10 because it would theoretically, it could cost, like if they lose this game, it could cost people their jobs at the end of the year. It would have that kind of trickle down effect. So I'm not going to put that bad energy out into the ether. I think they will take care of business. I think they're so well coached with Gannon that even if they were off slightly, they can find a way to win this game. But the spread's almost 7 points on the road. Neutral field, it would be almost 10. That tells you what Vegas thinks.
I feel like it's a must win. I was saying,
Yeah.
I love this. I love these few days where you anticipate the season, you get hyped, anything's possible. But if they come out and they can't get this win, I think it's catastrophic for this team for this year. Like you said, for potentially people's jobs, because this should be an easy game. This should be a game that you take care of business. And I understand week one, you have some surprises that happen in the NFL, but you've prepared this entire offseason, rebuilding that defensive line, working with Kyler and that offense to fine tune things and get where they need to be. If you come out and lay an egg in New Orleans, I don't think it's an option for this team.
No, this should be the crescendo of the rebuild. This should be the time where everybody sits up and says, okay, they're done. They're ready to win. And I feel that way about this team. I think they are ready to win. I look back, use the example of like 2021. Ironically, when we first got up and running, I remember watching the opener against the Titans in our old hot little studio in Phoenix, and Kyler Murray had 5 touchdowns. And it's like, say what you want about Cliff Kingsbury. Like that was the crescendo of that rebuild that started in 2019, 2020, and then 2021 against the Titans team that was better than this New Orleans team. So like we dog on Cliff and Kime a lot. That was the culmination. What does this look like this year? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you need to stack W's in the first 2 months of the season. You need to beat the Jags of the world. You need to beat the Titans and the Colts and the Saints and the Panthers. They have the second easiest schedule to begin the season through 2 months. There's just no excuses. No excuses for Kyler or Drew or JG, people that I'm fond of, that I love, that we talk about daily on our show. The beauty of the NFL, and this is where I kind of push back against some of the other professional sports because they can be individually driven. The beauty of the NFL is, are you winning or are you not winning? Like Matthew Stafford's put up on this pedestal. He had 21 touchdown passes last year. Nobody cares because he's a winner. Won the division, won a playoff game, almost went to the NFC Championship game. Like, are you putting dubs up every week? If you are, and you're Kyler Murray, guess what? You're a made man. You're back next year.
What's your pick? What do you got score-wise? You got a prediction for me?
Yeah, we'll do more in depth on our live show tomorrow from Bourbon Street, which will be absolutely electric. Everybody like and subscribe. But I'm going Cardinals. I'll go like 28. New Orleans, I'll give them 17. So about 11-point spread. I think maybe they get garbage touchdown toward the end of the game. Cardinals have, like, a lot of people think the Cardinals should be putting up like 40, 50 points this weekend. I don't know about that, but I'll go conservatively 28-17 Arizona.
I'm going 42-17. Why not? Let's just have a big one. Johnny, tell the people about everything you got going on in New Orleans this weekend, and so they know where to find you guys.
We're so fired up. We leave late tonight. We're there all weekend long. Your premier place for Cardinals coverage. We've got a live show tomorrow with our friends from Bird Gang Travel. There's going to be 150-plus Cardinal fans taking over Bourbon Street, 3:30 start time. And then, of course, Sunday, the coup de grace, we've got pregame, halftime, postgame show. We've also got a watch-along with our guy Espo, Shane, Damon Dog. So it's wall-to-wall coverage from New Orleans. Nobody else is going to give that to you. Plus, if you're a diehard, I'd encourage everybody to go sign up right now. $36 for the year. You're going to get behind-the-scenes footage of our flight, of our, activities, festivities in New Orleans that you can't find anywhere else. It's not going to go on social. It's not going to go on Twitter. Only lives in the Discord for our faithful diehards. We appreciate all of them.
He is Johnny Venerable. Follow him at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show at PHNX_Cardinals. And Johnny, enjoy your middle seat on the way to New Orleans.
I only want a middle seat if I get to sit next to my two buddies, but I will absolutely do that. Thanks, guys. We'll hopefully send good vibes from the Big Easy this weekend.
Good luck, man. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. A big thanks to the mustache behind the Mac, the man who puts clown faces on our guests. He is Shane Diefenbach. Follow him at Shane Dief. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. And you know what? Remember, clowns make people laugh, so it's not a bad thing to be. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.